George W. Bush has passed, and it is, of course, top news. It's always top news when a president passes, or a politician, or a celebrity. But, of course, society doesn't really want us talking about those people that aren't remembered when they're killed, for example, by this military. But we are seeing the immortalization, perhaps, of a darker sense, not a positive sense, of George W. Bush, because we're also in a reality where people will look at Bush and go, oh, we miss him so much. Donald Trump is so bad. So we miss Obama so much. We miss Bush so much. And yet we're seeing their new world order in our world today. We've seen the mocking of individuals that talk about a new world order, and then we'll see YouTube come out with the thinning. We'll see new world order and those types of terminologies and phrases normalized, but yet we're still considered the kooks. Now, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. However, I can see from past experience how presidents are often used to make previous presidents look good. I wasn't celebrating when Barack Obama was elected. I saw the extension of the nightmare that already was. People acting like there was change in the streets that we can believe in. Celebrating the people were of Portland during that year. And remember that night, it was election night, I believe, right? Late 2008. Well, the same cycle is happening again. But there were memes, I remember then, even with regards to Bush, that said, miss me yet? Do any of you remember that? Miss me yet? No, I'm not missing you. And that's in reference to George Bush Jr., the son of George Bush Sr. So even then, I saw that. And fast forward now, we've seen similar memes with Barack Obama. Miss me yet? Because of Donald Trump. You know, not only did I predict that Donald Trump would be the selection, but that you would see no real opposition from Barack Obama, at least not for some time. And what opposition there may seem to be, it's all a part of the show. It's all a part of the act. In another video, I talked about how SNL and Stephen Colbert and other comedians is our modern day bread and circus. And I don't mean to say that in a positive light. Now, don't get me wrong. There is some funny stuff out there, especially from SNL. And I would think that old school, I'm sure there's others that agree with me that old school SNL is a lot funnier than the stuff that's out right now. But there is a way in which the masses are socially engineered to laugh at anything. And laughter, right, is said to be healing, but it really helps neutralize the reality of the situation. So people deal with their angst, and they deal with the fact that they live under a sense of tyranny by being able to laugh at the tyranny, and that being normalized. And so it's normalized for people to think that they're winning and that they still live in a free society by being able to make fun of their president. And then you have other people, right, that believe that the real criticism of the president are the comedians, are the other people in the mainstream media that say they don't like the politicians and create bits and comedy acts. But that's the false opposition. There was a false opposition to George W. Bush Jr. There was a false opposition, you can even say, to Barack Obama. To say that somebody or a group of people are going against the war, right, and against the way things were, and then voting a particular way, just hoping that things would end up different, that's not a change in course. Just voting in the direction of that which the media is promoting. That's not going to alter the course of the military-industrial complex and the New World Order. So we have the passing of George W. Bush. And how many people are thinking about the rise of the world order today and how Trump is an extension of that agenda? And his own pulling out of the TPP is giving China stronger leverage in Asia. And this has recently become public knowledge. People that voted for Donald Trump, people that supported Donald Trump, are looking at this and how Donald Trump is helping China and their growth and their role in the New World Order. You know, back in the day, we would show more alarm collectively as a nation when world leaders would meet behind closed doors. And there was more concern about the human rights violations in China. Right now, Donald Trump is playing the role of, and it's a false role, of the peacemaker that's stalling or stopping or rerouting the plans for World War III and making friends with the rest of the world. Is he making friends with the rest of the world, or is he making sure that North Korea has time to catch up so they're ready for World War III after 2020? You see, and I think that in people becoming starry-eyed, ooh, Donald Trump, the savior. And by the way, I'm coming to you at 3:18 in the morning. Why am I coming to you at 3:18 in the morning? Because I have energy. And I realize, right, that I'm so outside the box as a thinker. And I need to flow with that and go with that and not fight that. That sometimes I need to go with the moment of inspiration and record in the dark of night and appreciate the fact that I'm able to come to you off the grid at this hour from wherever you are in the grid. But we are heading towards this path with China, which is coming sooner than later. And some of us that have been warning about this conflict also have to do our own personal work and find ways to keep going in light of the fear, in light of the anger that we may have or also receive, right? We may be at the receiving end of other people's anger that don't want to hear the truth. You know, I was called a witch in Portland for warning about World War III. Yeah, not literally witch, but the idea of, hey, don't talk about those things, you might make it happen. What kind of ridiculous nonsense is that? So this is the mentality, ladies and gentlemen, of the people of the New World Order. They didn't even realize that they were already put in the New World Order. They didn't even realize that all that stuff they were laughing at were corporations of the New World Order. Ha ha ha, Donald Trump, what an idiot. Alec Baldwin, you do that role so well. You make us laugh so well. But when you realize the New World Order, it's not so funny. Bread and circus isn't so funny anymore. It can't be funny when one realizes the truth about NBC and GE and how it's the same system and how Donald Trump isn't actually being offended by Stephen Colbert and SNL. It's the illusion of separation. Remember that. The illusions of separation that have people captivated and enslaved in this society is not limited to ethnicity in the problem, reaction, solution scenario of the caravan, because that's what it is. And we'll come back in another video and we'll talk about the problem, reaction, solution of the caravan crisis, which they've manufactured. So you can manufacture a crisis, in short. There could be the reaction from the public, something must be done, or look at how all of our belief systems are so validated by this event and our stated boogeyman, dun, 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 and reinforces that divide within the country. Have we seen a chain of caravan type events in the past as big as this? Televised as much as this? Is this happening for a reason to further that divide within the American psyche? To even create a sense of seething anger from an element of this society that is programmed to feel victimized. Look at those invaders coming after you, trying to crawl over the wall. Something must be done. The wall must be built to keep you in. To keep them out. The wall must be built to keep them out. Is that what's going to happen? Even Ron Paul questioned the official story of the border fence agenda back in the day when it was discussed then. So as we look at the New World Order coming into view, now we can see a New World Order coming into view. How many people are disillusioned by the fact that someone that they like is in office and they're not able to see the New World Order coming into view? In fact, they may be thinking that the opposite is taking place. I also came across someone who voted for Trump but now is disappointed with Trump and is now planning to vote Democrat, thinking that just getting behind what the mainstream, because that's what a lot of people don't understand. And that's how the New World Order rules over the peasantry class that has no real education, nothing but social media addiction, which is their modern day digital crack cocaine. People aren't recognizing the patterns. People should be learning from these silly memes that people have the gall and guts to post on social media. Miss me yet? And so when I come across those people in this world that may at one point have voted for Bush and voted for Obama and voted for Trump, and they're going to turn around and vote Democrat, people need to come to terms with this level of the archetype or the programming. Especially when they think they're anti-establishment and pro-people. Anti-corporate rule, pro-freedom, things of that nature. You can look at the 90s and see the deception. The mid-90s, the 2000s, and also like the fake illusion of choice between Gore and Bush. What a joke that was. And we could take a look at these options. And taking a look at those options, you would think is enough evidence and information. Give me a break. Look at this man. Looks like Frankenstein. John Kerry? Get the frag out of here. John Kerry, George Bush. Both skull and bones. Straight out in plain sight. But no, people didn't get it then. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton having a secret discussion. Had the world's attention. Had InfoWars attention. No. That doesn't have the people's concern that we're just coming out of the wars of George W. Bush. No. They don't want to hear any conspiracy. They want to believe in change we can believe in. And later on, a few years, it would be, to make America great again. Dun, 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 dun. And it's just, it is that pathetic little scene of the trumpet boy. Dun, 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 dun. Here comes another paper champion. Standing on a soapbox, lifted up by the powers of the establishment and the mainstream media. It would be years ago that I would talk about the guild actors and say George W. Bush is pretending to be an idiot. He may be a jerk-off, but he's not literally a monkey man. He's not literally the DNA of the dude from Mad Magazine. Okay? It's George Bush. It's the Bush family. If anything, he's playing a fool. Everybody plays a fool sometimes. And you can have a top song about everybody playing a fool, and somebody can be literally playing a fool, right, to play cover for the New World Order, right? So people think, well, maybe there's hope we can change things. We could just vote the guy out of office. And see, that's the idiocracy of this New World Order, because to truly understand the New World Order, you have to understand mind control in propaganda of the masses, because that's what defines New World Order. It's not just some speech, New World Order. Oh, and the masses go, George Bush has died. This puppeteer of the New World Order is no longer with us. And there are people literally in psychoses in their minds right now, thinking that the elite are passing away or something. The elite are passing away, and they're just going down the line. They're having these type of, death cult, celebratory parties, where they're like stomping on the dead going, the Wicked Witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Dun 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 dun. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. And it's just like, that's why you people are enslaved today, you silly leprechauns. You're running around like, ding dong, the witch is dead. And it's like, why are we still so enslaved? It's like, oh my God. Sometimes I'll see people on YouTube that have that starry-eyed look of, I'm under mind control and I'm on YouTube. And they'll just be like thinking that they're independent or that they're a truther. And they don't realize that what they're saying is the infiltrated COINTELPRO of our modern day and age, talking points of the false truthers. The ones that don't even realize that there are even more influential hands in control of immigration, more so than Soros and Clinton and the people that they think are behind it. You know, the very use of the terminology deep state is of the left-right paradigm. The idea of the deep state is not a new one, but it was never called a deep state until the supposed WikiLeaks, Assange, this whole thing recently in recent years, Q, Jerome Corsi, former guest of the program, back in the day where I thought it was legitimate, exposing George Bush and the selling of America. Funny how many people would expose New World Order of the past and then literally run cover for a modern day sitting president that by design is helping China, Russia, and North Korea. So this is something that's still in development, on the path to war. And this war that's coming, the U.S. is not meant to win. Now, out of the arena of those individuals that have been pitching for Putin, in the alternative media, oh, they can go ahead and delete their videos from the last 10 years. We know the truth. We know the truth. And you happen to be watching one of the few individuals that as far back as 2010, 2011, on my cable access TV show, I was discussing the RT agenda, the RT deception, right? From a Western perspective, a media activist, but seeing RT's role in the cultivation of the real New World Order. The modern day Roman Empire exists outside and beyond the United States, and it already includes China and Russia. But see, there's a period of stages in which they break it to the people of the world. If they do at all, right? There is the real world of control, but it is covert in how it appears to the people. So I'm going to wrap things up. It is only in a Disney fairy tale that the passing of a person signals the decline of a new world order. And if you pay attention closely, they're not bringing up his role so much in the world order because of Trump by design, another guild actor who knows exactly what he's doing. It's like he's literally writing Alec Baldwin's skits for him. People are literally worshiping George W. Bush. And when you think about what he represents, and most of you understand the evil that he represents, understand then that the same mainstream media, how can this really be anti-establishment or anti-Trump even? When they're celebrating the life and times of George W. Bush, where they seek to immortalize him. And I think that there is a true sense of being immortalized. And then there's the ways in which the elite do it, the celebrities do it, those involved in the dark side of ritual magic do it, with their use of the word immortalized. But there is a sense of them attempting to do that, to use a sense of magic by using technology to paint certain people in history that have done very wicked things in a very positive light. Today, while people falsely think that the establishment hates Trump, there's another understanding as well. If they're able to understand the ways of the alternative media and how Messages can be hijacked, movements can be hijacked and turned on their head. We've literally seen the influence of the system embedding itself within our own movement, our own talking points, and we've seen really the rise of it in the last couple of years. It literally is to the point in which the only hope that I perceive is of the spiritual experience, the experience of human consciousness that's able to see the true difference between evil and good.